Okay, folks, we have another book that is in the Cameron High School Library. It's called 19 Minutes. It is restricted, fortunately, but let's get into some of the content here. The book, the events leading up to the aftermath of a school shooting are uncovered. Summary of concerns. This book contains sexual activity, sexual nudity, profanity, derogatory terms, violence, controversial social and political commentary, controversial religious commentary, alternate sexuality, hate, abortion, suicide, and 4 out of 5, not for minors. He ducked his head and walked into the shower, pulling off his towel at the last possible minute. Matt and Drew were already soaping themselves up. Peter let the spray hit him in the forehead. He imagined being an adventurer on some wild white river being pummeled by a waterfall as he was sucked into a vortex. When he wiped his eyes and turned around, he could see the blurred edges of the bodies that were Matt and Drew, and the dark patch between their legs. Pubic hair. Peter didn't have any yet. Matt suddenly twisted sideways. Jesus Christ, stop looking at my dick. Fucking faggot, Drew said. Worse, what if he got hard right now, which was happening more and more lately? That would mean he was gay, wouldn't it? I wasn't looking at you, Peter blurted. I can't see anything. Drew's laughter bounced against the tile wall of the shower. Maybe your dick's too small, Matty. She felt Matt's lips move from her cheek to her neck to the spot behind her ear that always made her feel like she was dissolving. She was a novice at fooling around, but Matt had coaxed her further and further each time they were alone. It's your fault, he'd say, and give her that smile. If you weren't this hot, I'd be able to keep my hands off you. That alone was an aphrodisiac to Josie. Her? Hot? And just as Matt had promised every time, it did feel good to let him touch her everywhere, to let him taste her. Every incremental intimacy with Matt felt as if she was falling off a cliff. Now she felt his hands moving under her t-shirt, slipping beneath the lace of her bra. Her legs tangled with his. He rubbed up against her. When Matt tugged up her shirt so that the cool air feathered over her skin, she snapped back to reality. We can't do this, she whispered. Matt's teeth scraped over her shoulder. We're parked on the side of the road. He looked up at her, drugged, feverish. But I want you, Matt said, like he had a dozen times. This time, though, she glanced up. I want you. She heard the rip of a foil condom packet. How long had he been carrying that around? Then he tore at his jeans and hiked up her skirt, as if he still expected her to change her mind. Josie felt Matt pulling aside the elastic of her underwear, the burn of his finger pushing inside her. This was nothing like the times before, when his touch had left a track like a comet over her skin. When she found herself aching after she told him she wanted to stop, Matt shifted his weight and came down on top of her again. Only this time there was more burning, more pressure. Ow, she whimpered, and Matt hesitated. I don't want to hurt you, he said. She turned her head away. Just do it, Josie said, and Matt pushed his hips flush against hers. It was the kind of pain that, even though she was expecting it, made her cry out. Matt mistook that for passion. I know, baby, he groaned. She could feel his heartbeat, but from the inside, and then he started to move faster, bucking against her like a fish released from a hook onto a dock. Josie wanted to ask Matt whether it had hurt the first time he had done it too. She wondered if it always would hurt. Maybe pain was the price everybody paid for love. She turned her face into Matt's shoulder and tried to understand why. Even with him still inside of her, she felt empty. Then Josie got out of bed and booted up her computer. She Googled abortifacient, the word she'd looked up yesterday, the one that meant something that terminates a pregnancy. Josie had toyed with contacting her father again, which would have taken an enormous helping of humility. He hadn't wanted Josie born, so theoretically he'd probably go out of his way to help her have an abortion. Some she already knew, the old wives' tale about sticking a knitting needle inside of her, or drinking laxatives or castor oil. Some she'd never imagined. Douching with potassium, swallowing ginger root, eating unripe pineapple. And then there were the herbs, oil infusions of calamus, mugwort, sage, and wintergreen, cocktails made out of black cohosh? I have no idea. Pennyroyal. Josie wondered where you even got these things. It wasn't like they were in the aisle next to the aspirin at CVS. Herbal remedies, the website said, worked 45% of the time, which she supposed was at least a start. She leaned closer, reading. Don't start herbal treatment after the 6th week of pregnancy. Keep in mind these are not reliable ways to end pregnancy. Drink the teas day and night so you don't ruin the progress you made during the day. Catch the blood and add water to dilute it, and look at the clots and tissue to make sure the placenta has passed.